Unlocking local housing solutions. How councils and community housing providers collaborate to deliver affordable housing. This guide has been developed in collaboration with Australian Community Housing, Australian Local Government Association, Housing Australia and Polis partners. Communities across Australia are facing housing challenges. While these challenges are national, the solutions often start locally. Councils are on the ground, they hear from residents, understand the local context and know where the gaps are. That makes councils a critical component and leader in shaping housing outcomes. Councils can play a valuable role defining local strategy, coordinating effort, securing funding, unlocking resources, and both incentivising and delivering real outcomes for the community. Councils across Australia are showcasing this, activating land, reshaping planning tools, and partnering with community housing providers to deliver affordable homes where they're needed most. This guide takes stock of the success councils are having and outlines strategies to further the delivery of affordable housing. The guide has been built from national engagement and real case studies, and contains practical tools and approaches that reflect the diversity of housing needs and council approaches. Importantly, this guide also shows how a council partnership with a local community housing provider amplifies the impact that both can have in delivering housing that the community needs. When it comes to housing, councils and CHPs share a common goal. So, what can you do next? Working with your community housing provider or CHP. CHPs are not-for-profit, purpose-driven housing providers. They focus on helping people most in need, offering housing, tenancy management, and wraparound services. They are not developers chasing profit, and they operate under state and national regulation, ensuring their focus on tenants and community outcomes is preserved. When these CHP characteristics are combined with council's local knowledge, community trust, planning authority, and land resources, the outcomes delivered are greater than either can do alone. That's why the strategies and approaches in this guide work best when councils and CHPs collaborate. Understand how your council can support housing delivery. Through national consultation, we identified 5 differing approaches councils are using to support community housing. Each has its own strengths, risks, and resource needs. The first approach is about building community support and strategic partnerships. Councils set a clear strategic direction on affordable housing, engage with the community, and build relationships with CHPs, developers, and state agencies. This approach doesn't require land or capital, instead it needs leadership from councils. Done well, this approach builds credibility, unlocks funding, and lays the groundwork for future delivery. The second approach uses planning and policy tools. Councils can shape private development outcomes by embedding affordable housing into planning schemes, offering planning incentives, or streamlining approvals. This is especially useful in areas with strong development activity. This approach requires time and clear rules so developers know what's expected. The third approach revolves around financial incentives and enabling infrastructure. These contributions can help make local projects viable. Councils might waive fees, offer small grants, or invest in enabling works. Councils often seek state or Commonwealth funding to underpin this, given the funding capacity of councils and the enabling infrastructure challenges they face. This approach can be flexible and fast, especially when CHPs are ready to deliver housing, but need a final funding boost. This approach is amplified when coordinating with state and Commonwealth enabling infrastructure programs and needs clear local criteria and good governance to ensure transparency and public value. The fourth approach involves activating council-owned land. If councils have surplus land, this can be used as a catalyst for co-investment to get the housing outcomes council is seeking. The ways councils have achieved this is through the sale of the land with development conditions, issuing long-term leases on the land, or transferring the land to a trust. This approach requires managing legal requirements, community expectations, and long-term affordability safeguards. Finally, there's direct delivery and ownership of affordable housing. Some councils build or acquire housing themselves, often partnering with CHPs for management. This gives councils maximum control over design, tenure, and affordability, but also requires commensurate resources, capital, and long-term oversight. Partnering with CHPs, what good partnerships look like. In reality, most councils are adopting a reinforcing mix of these approaches. What stands out is that when CHPs are involved, the outcomes to community are greater and efforts are more coordinated. So, what does a strong partnership with CHPs look like? The case studies in this guide demonstrate that early engagement and sustained collaboration with community housing providers and local communities are essential to project success. CHPs can help identify areas of need, co-design solutions, test feasibility, and partner to strengthen funding bids. Housing is a long-term commitment, so strong, sustained partnerships with housing providers matter. Define clear roles, keep communication open, and build on what's already working. Local governments have a real and meaningful role to play in delivering affordable housing. They are enablers, conveners, facilitators, and in many cases, leaders of local housing solutions. By working with CHPs, councils can amplify their work and ensure affordable housing is delivered in your communities. For more information and to read real case studies where councils have achieved outcomes, refer to the guide.